Hey, y'all. Happy Wednesday. I always have to stop and think about it. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a good one. We are popping in to do a little bit of Q&A and a little bit of a redo. Now, we came on Monday and we showed you some of our favorite lettering pens, but the sound was really wonky. So like the beginning was quiet, like you couldn't hear us. The middle was fine. The end, you couldn't hear us. So we just decided to scrap it. We deleted it. We'll redo and show you some of our pens. Hopefully nothing will mess up this time. Also, though, y'all may have seen our lettering club is open. We only open this club a few times a year, and now is one of those times. So today is going to be a little bit of Q&A. Now, there are some questions that people have already asked that I'll be answering, but if you've got questions, I want you to pop them in the chat as well. So we're going to kind of be doing double duty here, okay? I'm going to take the camera off of me, and we're going to be coming down, talking about some of our favorite lettering pens. And then I'm going to be answering questions at the same time. So at any point, feel free to throw something in the chat. It can be about the club. It can be about the pens, whatever you've got there. But before we get started, let me just do a quick overview, just in case you've never even heard of the Lettering Club. Okay. So our Lettering Club is an online membership where we teach hand lettering, and we do it in a super fun way. Now, we don't just teach hand lettering though. We go through like the basics of hand lettering to give you the tools that you need to start practicing more. But then it doesn't end there. You're going to want to use those hand lettering skills and put them on cards and put them on, on home decor and all the different things. And so every single month we are showing you projects to do to work on your hand lettering and to incorporate it into ways that you can use it for yourself, for gifts, for others, all the things. So our membership is, you might can see these two boxes right here. This is some Happy Mail. We send out a box or a poly mail or something you get physically in the mail. I did a live yesterday if you want to look at that to kind of see what is in the Happy Mail. But we take the Happy Mail combined with meeting live and doing lessons just like you're doing right here, where we grab our Happy Mail and teach you the focus project for that week. So it's just a fun membership. We call it having peace and play into your everyday, because art has been proven to like lower anxiety, help you chill a bit. That's the peace part. And play, because you're always playing with new techniques, new tools, new products that we send. It's just a little bit, anytime you get your tools out and start making, it kind of feels playful. It kind of feels like you're back in kindergarten, just scribbling on the page. And just expressing yourself that way. So that's kind of the overview of it. But we always get questions about pens. All right. So I'm going to take myself out of the video. I'm going to lower our this so that you can see things well, and I'll be answering questions and going over our pens at the same time. So I already see a question coming in. Ashley says, are you talking about waterproof pens today? Some of these are waterproof. I will tell you, I was not planning on talking about like all the different types of waterproof pens, but I can tell you a Sharpie is going to be waterproof. That might be it out of this batch right here. But if you were just in our workshop where we did blooms and blessings, we used a waterproof pen. Let me see. I'm looking over here in my stash of pens to see if I can find the exact pen, and I cannot. But let me tell you a simple way to know if your pen is waterproof or not. Okay. A lot of times, this is just a pen that, it's just in my pen bucket over there. Okay. It's not a fancy lettering pen. It's probably one like that's in most of your junk drawers. I take my watercolor paper. Here's it looks like a test page right here. I scribble on it. And I let it sit for a bit. Then I take my watercolor brush and water and I paint over it. If it stays put, it's waterproof. If it starts turning to gray, it's not waterproof. Okay. So you very likely have things in your drawers. They don't always market them as waterproof pens, but a lot of just simple writing pens are waterproof. but a lot of them are not. So test them. Okay, so just test them, test them. All right, so one of the first pens that we love is a Sharpie. Again, if you joined us live the other day, this is a repeat, but that live got deleted, so that's why we are doing this again. So we love a Sharpie. A good Sharpie is a must-have in your lettering toolbox. Now, it doesn't do anything fancy as far as thick and thin strokes, but it's permanent. So if we're doing watercolor and we, let's say we're drawing something, we want to outline it with a Sharpie and then do watercolor on top, it works perfect for that. If we want to letter on a surface that a regular pen is not going to work with, a Sharpie will letter on so many different types of surfaces. These are just good to have in all, and keep them lots in stock because they do kind of go, they get dry over time, but keep lots of these in stock. Also, notice what I just did here. This was a quick jotting down of Sharpie. And I'm like, I had to question myself. Did I spell that right? Because the way I wrote it, it looks like Sharpie. Is pie and Sharpie? Yes. Okay. That is how you spell it. I'm looking at it right here. But do you see how even in this, like I swapped up the font? We've got cursive here and regular, print here. That's one technique, one style of font that you can do. Just swap it up right there in the middle of it. Okay. We didn't do any fancy thickening of the downstrokes or anything. We just changed our font up and it kind of looks fun. So a Sharpie is, it's definitely something to have on hand for sure. Okay. So I'm going to do a pen and a question. All right. So one of the questions that we have gotten is, I want to do this club. How long do I have to commit? There is no long-term commitment. If you're on that month-to-month plan, it's just month to month. Now, you only are going to have access to our video library as long as you're a member. But if you just wanted to give it a try for 1 month, get your happy mail and, and do the projects with us, you totally could do that. We do, however, give you the option. If you want to commit to a year, you can sign up for a year in advance, and that actually gets 2 months free because you're really only paying for 10 months, but you're going to get 12. So that's a little something if you wanted to go ahead and do that, but you absolutely do not have to. You can cancel anytime. All right, next pen is going to be Crayola. All right, so we love Crayola. I'm going to just do a fun little font with this. All right, so we love Crayola for a lot of reasons. One is you can get thin lines by using the tip, and you can get bold lines by using the side. Okay. So you can get different thicknesses of lines with this one marker. You can also, do thin, thick, thin, thick. This is just based on pressure right here. Okay. The tip is not moving, but when I go up, I'm just touching it light. When I come down, I'm just kind of using the side of it a little bit more. So the light pressure, it might be using the tip a little more. Heavy pressure, using the side and pressing down. And I can get these variations of thins and thicks. Also, if you've watched any of our videos that we've done over on the Crayola Facebook page, we have a ton of videos over there. If you go to Crayola, click on videos, scroll down, you'll see Doodle Along with Casey. A lot of those use markers that we turn into watercolor. Now, you can't do that on copy paper like this, but if you're on watercolor paper and use your Crayola markers and then take the brush and wet it, it will turn to watercolors. It's super cool. So we love some Crayolas. We love their bright colors. We love how easy they are just to go get them and to start going. So it's all good. Let's see. Vicki says, if you want to join month to month and then decide you want to make a yearly commitment, can you switch from monthly to yearly? Great question. So you cannot do that just anytime. So let's say you're in the club for a couple months and then you love it and you want to switch. You're not going to be able to do it at that point. Every once in a while, we will run specials in the middle of the year that says, hey, if you want to upgrade, now is the time to do it. And the reason for that is simply because on the back end, there's just a lot of things that have to be open and closed, and we just can't keep that yearly thing open all the time. It gets really complicated to manage on the back end if we don't have just kind of like a one time move everybody to there. So hope that makes sense. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense other than to say the back end of things is hard. So that's why we limit whenever you're able to do that. But you could possibly get the option on down the road. We this year we only allowed that one time during the year, and it was around December. And we said, hey, before the year ends, if you want to swap to yearly, you can. But you just can't do it anytime. So great question. Thanks, Vicki. All right, next pen that I'm going to do. This is a Pitt pen, okay? Pitt. Now, you do not have to get all of these pens. I'm just going to go through the pros and cons of each. Some of the cons, or you might be like, or some of the pros, you might be like, wow, I will never use it for that. So I don't even need that. Okay. So I'm just going to go through it. These are just the ones that we love. So we love the Pitt pens because they come in lots of different colors, and they actually, they're a little bit thinner of a nib, like a smaller nib than Crayola. So if you're doing it like a smaller area, they work good. Fun colors, and they don't bleed through a page. Now, why is that important? It's important if you wanted to do Bible journaling with these. Bible journaling is, you got the thin pages, but with these pens, they might show through, but they're not going to bleed through. If you were to use a Sharpie on Bible journaling or anything thin, it would bleed through. But with Pitt pens, and not even Bible journaling, if you've ever gotten those, not the moleskin journals, but like the little craft journals with the thin paper that, you can doodle in, some of those papers are so thin that even, your markers are bleeding through. The Pitt pens will not. They also have this thin, thick way about them. So fun little things there. Donna says, I live in North Alabama. Do you do in-person classes? Our studio does in-person classes. Yes, they sure do. All right, so there is that. Next up is going to be our Tombow. Now, the Tombow also gets the thins and the thicks. But now Tombow, let me go explain, is a brand, okay? So this is one Tombow brush or pen, and this is another. So the Tombow doesn't make just one pen. This is a brand, Tombow. This particular pen is a Tombow dual brush pen. So it has two ends. So Tombow, that's one end, big, bright, fun. I was trying to say bright and fun together. I said fight, bright, fun colors. It also has the other end for smaller things. So it's the Tombow dual brush pens, super fun colors. On certain paper, they blend really well together. Like if I wanted to make like the bottom of this like a blue and then blend it together, they blend really good. Not on this type of paper, but like on a Bristol board paper or a marker paper. If you get the right paper, they blend really pretty together. And then also, just like I told you that the Crayola would turn to watercolor on watercolor paper, the Tombow does the same thing. And there's a lot of fun colors with that as well. So these are just fun. I'll show you the thins and thicks that you can also get with the Tombow. Like as far as like when I like to use Tombows the most, I like to use them like if I've got some Bristol paper and I just want to make a really cool lettering piece. Like I would not use these on wood or anything like that. They wouldn't work. But if I had just marker paper or Bristol board and I just wanted to do a really cool lettering piece and have some fun, blending, I would use these. Okay, I'm going to show you a different type of Tombow too. This one is called the Funosuke. Okay, and it's a hard word to say. There's that word right there. Okay. All right. So with this, you also get thins and thicks. So I'm going to just write the word Tombow. So thick, thin. So you get a little bit more of that calligraphy look instead of just a little bit smaller. Can y'all hear the girls in the next room? I don't know if y'all can hear them or not. They are in there packing Happy Meal as we speak, and I hear a lot of boxes being unpacked right now. I don't know if y'all can hear them or not, but they are getting ready to send stuff to you. All right, so what is good about this? Okay, so it is smaller even than the Pitt pen as far as the nib. Also works well in Bible journaling or on thin pages. Okay, and it's just a smaller nib, so that's going to help you in smaller areas. They also come in really fun colors. Here's another color. I'm going to write the word, the Food No Suki. Okay, so this is just Tombow Food No Suki, smaller nib, doesn't bleed through things. You get the thicks and the thins with it as well. So just another fun one. All right. All right, so last one that I'm going to show you today that does write on a lot of surfaces. So the Sharpie will write on a lot of surfaces, but it wouldn't write like on glass or whatnot. This last marker right here, Posca pens, oh boy, they are fun. Now they do not have this kind of, they do make a brush pen. I don't love it though. But so the ones that I'm showing you today, it does not have thins and thicks. Okay. It's kind of like a Sharpie in the fact that it just has just, the one tip that does not, it's the same thickness no matter what you do. But what's so great about it, it's a paint pen. They come in lots of colors and they write on so many surfaces. So I'm going to write it out because a lot of people think that I say pasta pens, but I'm not saying pasta. I'm saying Posca. Okay, so I say Posca, but if you look at the whole thing, it says Uniposca, kind of like Uniball. I think it's the same company as Uniball. So Posca. And what is so great about these is it writes, like I said, wood, canvas, glass. Now, chalkboards on the glass surface, it will wipe off, which is kind of cool. They make a size even bigger than this. We've done things like on the front of our window at the studio with these big Posca pens. If you've ever seen, car dealerships will, write the big things on the windows. A lot of times they'll use the Posca pens, just the thicker kind. It's like a little thicker nib. So it's kind of cool in that area. It's going to stay put, on porous surfaces like wood, canvas, paper. But on slick surfaces, you can write, it will stay put to the touch, but you just get, some water, some Windex, and you can take it off. So that's another fun one that we use. So these are some of our most used pens. That does not mean you got to get all of them. It doesn't mean, that these are the only ones that are out there. These are just our most used ones that we just wanted to show you about, so that when we say words like Posca, Tombow, Pitt, you know what we are talking about. And says, how do the prices compare? Well, you're going to get your cheapest is going to be your Crayola. Tombow's Posca pens, I think, are around $3 or $4 per pen. I'm having to do this from memory, also. I'm not really good. Tombow's are going to be a little bit less expensive than this size of the Posca pens, but I feel like the Tombow's and the Pitt pens are kind of all in the same price range. None of these are crazy expensive to buy, just a few. And most of these you can get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I've even seen Walmart start carrying the Tombows though. Walmart has Sharpie and Crayola. I've seen them have Tombow as well. So just a little fun stuff there. Let me know. I'm going to pull myself back up here. If you've got any more questions about the club, I will answer a few that we've, again, already had. One being, when's the last day to join? So we only open a few times a year. And so if you are watching this in real time, tomorrow's the last day to join. So let me look at my calendar. Tomorrow is the 9th. So March 9th is going to be the last day at midnight, the last time to join for this opening. Now we open the club 2 to 3 times a year. But like if you let's say you don't want to join now, you want to join 3-4 months down the road, that whenever we're open, that's fine, but you won't get all the content that we're teaching right now. You won't get the happy mail that they're in there packing right now. So if you want to join, I say go for it, especially since you can cancel anytime. You won't be missing anything. Lynn says, when do we receive our first box? Great question. So our goal is to always deliver your boxes by around the 15th. We hope they make it to your home by around the 15th of every month. And then you'll see that the calendar that's in there will kind of start, like it's mid-month to mid-month is when it runs, just because most people's payments come in at the beginning of the month, and then we can ship them out from there. So we are getting on it right now. They're in there packing it. They should ship out here Friday for everybody, and then they'll make their way to you. So it should be there by the 15th. How much is it for a year? Kathy asked. So it's $450 for the year. It's $45 a month. So if you get it for a year, it's, you're basically paying what 10 months would cost, and you get those other 2 months free. Plus, when you sign up for the year, another fun perk is that you go ahead and you get our whole library full of stuff. So when you join the club, usually there might be a few bonuses in there. There might be the boot camp ready for you, but you're just going to get the current lessons going forward. Once you hit 6 months, we celebrate you, and we go ahead and we give you the whole library at 6 months so that you can, that's everything we've ever done. Now that you're not going to want to do everything we've ever done, but at least you've got the library. It's kind of like Netflix. You just scroll through and find what you want to watch and do. At the 6 month mark, you get the whole thing. If you want to not wait for 6 months, if you want the whole thing now, when you purchase the year, we know you're already going to be in there for 6 months. So we go ahead and give you the full access to the library. So that's another fun perk of the year. So not only do you immediately get the full library, but you also are saving on 2 months as well. So $450 for the year, $45 a month. And just to recap, what does that $45 cover? Covers all of our online lessons, which that in and of itself is the value. The happy mail is the bonus. So if you were to come to our studio for a class, it's going to be around $40 for one class. We are teaching at least 2 live classes a month. Then we give you the paint and praise class. Again, you don't have to do all of it, but we want to give you, options for what we are giving you. So you got about 3 classes plus the downloadables. And that is, more than the $45 worth of stuff. And then the happy mail is our fun little bonus, but that $45 does cover your happy mail, the scripture cards, the sticker, the traceables, whatever product is in there, plus the shipping. We do not charge extra for shipping. So it's all included in $45 a month. So great price for it if you want to do that. Lynn says, how often will our classes be? So Mondays are our delivery days. Okay. That's when we give you something on every single Monday. So it varies. It's always every Monday something. So sometimes this is kind of what it looks like. We'll do a live class on Monday night. The next Monday night, we're not doing a live class, but we're giving you access to some traceables that you can print out and practice your lettering, get caught up on stuff, whatnot. The next week on Monday, another live class. So we do it at 7 p.m. Central Time inside of our private Facebook group. If you cannot make it at that time, no biggie, because after we do it live, we put it in your library. So we do it live on Facebook. That way we can, just like we're doing now, where you ask me a question and I can immediately answer it. That's the beauty of doing it live inside of our Facebook group. But we know that it can be kind of hard to go through and find all those videos. So we move it to your library. Again, kind of like Netflix. You can just scroll through and find it if you can't join us live. But to get back to your question, it might kind of look like this. Live class on Monday, traceables the next Monday, another live class on that the next Monday, and then that 4th week, paint and praise membership. So what that means is you have access to our Paint and Praise membership. It's a whole other membership that's just for people who maybe just want one video a month. They don't want the Happy Mail. It's a pre-recorded lesson tutorial on, sometimes it's watercolor, sometimes it's painting, always has some lettering kind of combined in there as well. But we give you access to that 1 week too. So it's usually 2 live classes plus a pre-recorded class for the Paint and Praise, plus your trade schools for 1 month. Here's the deal. You don't have to come to all of them. We don't ever want you to think that you have to be at every single thing that we do in order to get your money's worth. You come to one, you create peace and play that you didn't normally have in your day, and you're ahead of the game. You have set out to do what you intended to do. If you want to incorporate something into your routine, into your schedule that adds just a little bit of peace to where you can just chill out for a little bit. If you're not doing any of that now, adding 1 a month, that's progress towards your goal of adding that peace and place every day. If you're wanting just to get a little bit better in this area of art and lettering, and you're not actively doing anything right now to get better, adding just 1 is going to be a step forward. All right. And then if you get bitten by the bug, come to everyone. We would love for you to be at everyone, but we don't want you to feel like you have to be at everyone to get the value in what we offer. We try to over deliver in every step. So we try to over deliver in, the options of the classes that we are giving you. We try to over deliver on what we are sending you. We try to over deliver and not charging extra for shipping. So, so all that said, every Monday you get some deliverable. And if you want to join us live, it's usually at 7 p.m. Central Time. All right. So let's see. Are Poscas similar to Lottie Dottie chalk markers? I don't even know about Lottie Dottie chalk markers. Maybe I need to learn. So I can't answer that. Lynn, wish I lived in Alabama. I would definitely come to a class. I just might have to make a run to Open Leica. Yes, come on down whenever. We don't have in-person classes like all that. We have them every month. It's usually about 3 to 4 times a month. There's something going on at the studio. It's not always me teaching. It's a lot of times not me teaching. We've got other awesome teachers in the studio, but it is fun to be able to offer those all 3 to 4 times a month. So I think I'm looking through the questions. I don't see any other major questions. We talked about, tomorrow's the last day. We talked about, what's all included. I think I answered your question as far as when are the classes? Monday nights at 7 p.m. inside the private Facebook group. But again, it's moved over to your library. So if you can't join us live, you'll still have access to that. And then also, every Wednesday morning, we do a little devotion inside the group too, just to kind of keep our mind focused on whatever is true and good and right and pure. So, so that is it for today, y'all. You can still, leave your questions in the comments, and we will see them and we'll answer them. All right, y'all. That's it for now. See ya.